up to date with NBN News. Then two desperate teams collide as the Sharks host the Raiders in a Saturday night football blockbuster. Then a special encore screening of True Story with Hamish and Andy. Tonight on 9.
Tonight, how the foiled terror plot to target a plane in Sydney could overhaul security at domestic airports. A new protest and a new opinion poll. Liberal MPs set for a showdown on same-sex marriage. And the Knights go back-to-back for the first time in 2 years.
This is NBN News with Paul Lobb.
Good evening. There's now just a little over 24 hours before the fourth man arrested in last week's terror raids must be either charged or released. It comes as security agencies continue to seal the gaps in Australia's anti-terror armour, and tougher protection at domestic airports is now likely to be permanent.
They've given us a wake-up call, exposed our weaknesses.
They were very close, and in fact, had they panicked at Sydney Airport, they may have indeed detonated that device.
Air cargo, a vulnerable spot, after it emerged that that was how the military-grade explosives were slipped into Sydney.
The explosives did get through. It's impossible to check the amount of cargo that's coming into this country.
As counter-terror investigations continue, the government is considering permanently beefing up security at domestic airports, in line with international terminals.
We have to be not only looking at domestic airports, but also appropriate improved security at regional airports.
Liquid restrictions, body scans, photo identification, explosive residue detection.
Anything that enhances security and puts people's peace at mind.
Doesn't bother me at all.
The threat of a gas attack on our trains or buses now also seems very real.
It's all about continuous innovation and continuously looking and trying to understand what the bad guys are going to do next.
But this operation has shown just how effective our intelligence services are. As soon as ASIO raised the alarm, the Joint Counter-Terror Team was onto it.
That's really scary.
Secretly, police also carried out dummy runs, testing airport security, trying to slip a phony improvised explosive device through.
We had 100% success rate in terms of our mock IED being picked up.
Brothers Khaled and Mahmoud Kayat are being classified and will probably be locked up in Goulburn's Supermax jail. While neither applied for bail yesterday, nothing is stopping them from trying for bail before their next scheduled court appearance in November. One man, Khaled Murhi, remains in custody. I'm told investigators are, quote, hopeful of laying charges. But if those charges aren't laid by 8 p.m. tomorrow, he'll walk. Simon Boda, NBN News.
A man has lost his life after a crash on the Central Coast this morning. Shortly after 11 a.m, police were called to Magenta, where a car travelling north had left the road and hit a tree. The man was treated by paramedics but died at the scene. Investigators were at the scene for most of the afternoon, with one lane of Wilfred Barrett Drive closed to traffic. A man has been charged with speeding and driving offences after a police pursuit on the Central Coast. It's alleged the 35-year-old drove off after returning a positive reading at a mobile drug test at Doyleson. Police say after the crash, a couple of locals stopped him from leaving the scene.
How he's escaped with the minor injuries that he has certainly is quite baffling to us and quite surprising.
The man will face Newcastle Court later this month. The pressure is mounting on federal Liberal MPs over the divisive issue of same-sex marriage ahead of a party room showdown on Monday. It's been intensified by a protest and a new opinion poll today.
A front row seat for a show of Indigenous pride. The PM and opposition leader in Arnhem Land. Embracing traditions old and new.
Where are you? There you are. I'm going to lose you.
But it's another tradition that's causing division.
If this government is not capable of sorting out the circus over marriage equality, we'll just legislate it in the first 100 days.
Ahead of a Liberal party room showdown on Monday, protesters in Perth sending a message to MPs. A new poll out today putting pressure on 6 Liberal MPs who've yet to declare their position on same-sex marriage. It's revealed in 5 of their seats, more than 50% of voters want it to be legalised. And a majority in all 6 electorates want a free vote in Parliament as soon as possible.
Our hope is that these Liberal MPs will see the results of this polling and listen to their constituents and push for a free vote on Monday afternoon.
There are also reports today that senior ministers are pushing for a deadline to get this matter dealt with once and for all.
At the end of the day, there needs to be a vote on this, whatever the outcome of whatever process they use, and there's got to be a very, very strict time frame.
With the countdown officially on, the stage is now set for a rainbow debate at Capitol Hill.
A thief who raided the home of a young family thought he was doing his nasty work in secret, but his face is clear for all to see thanks to a security camera in the living room. Also clear to see the bravery of a mother protecting her child.
For any parent, it's the stuff of nightmares. A burglar breaking into your home while you're in the shower and your toddler is playing just metres away.
There's a stranger, a big guy, get in my living room.
Caught on camera, the thief is seen sifting through a baby bag before he finds a car key. As he starts to make his way out, he spots a handbag, quickly snatching it before sneaking back outside. He makes enough noise to finally alert Zhao Zhang that something is up. She bursts out of the bathroom, towel still in hand.
The first time I saw him already outside the courtyard, so I thought he didn't come in. So I was like trying to scare him.
She realised he had in fact been inside her home when she noticed her bag was gone and checked the security footage. Well, her credit cards, driver's licence are gone. She's just grateful 15-month-old Yoon wasn't harmed.
Thank God she didn't get hurt.
Jowin says about a month ago she spotted a person who appeared to be canvassing the back of her property, and she's now wondering if it was the same man. She hopes sharing her experience will encourage others to be more security conscious at home. In particular, to make sure doors are securely locked.
I told like anyone I know that my door was like breaking last night, so you guys need to keep an eye on it.
Anyone who sees this man should contact police.
Rugby league has always been an aggressive and physical sport played by tough men and women. Today it was the perfect platform for supporters to take a stand against domestic violence.
There's no bigger crowd than on a Saturday afternoon footy match in Newcastle. The perfect time for local charity Got Your Back Sister to spread their message.
Newcastle and the Hunter region will not accept domestic violence. That domestic violence is not okay, and we actually need to end the silence. We need to encourage people to speak up, speak out and go, it's not okay.
At half-time in today's NRL match between the Knights and the New Zealand Warriors, 300 people took a stand. Donating $20 before the game, they were given a T-shirt, but more importantly, they were given the chance to make a simple but powerful stand on the turf of McDonald Jones Stadium.
Violence against anyone is not acceptable, so we just need to stop it all.
It gives the men in our community an opportunity to stand up and say, look, we're not tolerating this as well.
The Newcastle Knights players have supported the campaign as well.
We've got your back, sister.
The Newcastle Knights are role models for people in our community, so I think it sends a really powerful message, especially to younger people.
The money raised today goes towards supporting local families suffering from domestic violence. Alex Hunke, NBN News.
There are renewed calls for one of Newcastle's oldest buildings to be state heritage listed. Despite formal recommendations, the 169-year-old mine manager's house at Hamilton remains without official protection.
It's one of Australia's oldest surviving colliery structures. Today, nestled within Hamilton suburbia, sits a slice of the Hunter's history.